Good morning, young people. This is Sarah Shannon, the founder of Shannon Educational Consulting Curriculum and Tutoring. I'm going to talk to you briefly about how to write a narrative story. And I'm going to go over the narrative story that every year teacher should give me the packet, which is the narrative story packet that gives you, at the beginning of it, it says there are several types of writing that you're responsible for knowing this year. Your district may differ, or your teacher may differ, your particular situation may differ, but we're focusing today particularly on the narrative that this is focusing about. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to read to you the narrative story that you should have a copy of in front of you if your teacher bought this particular activity. And I'm going to read it to you first, and I'm going to talk a little bit to you about narrative stories. But I just want you to sit back, relax, and listen to this narrative story that I wrote. And then I'm going to show you after that how you can write a story similar to this, okay? I can't believe it. I won tickets to see Corbin, I screamed at the top of my lungs. My best friend Brenda and I had just called into FM 103 after trying unsuccessfully for several days to win seats to see our favorite rock star Corbin Frame. After trying reluctantly for the last time, I was shocked when the announcer announced after 3 rings and told me I was caller number 100, the lucky number. Brenda laughed in happiness and started jumping up and down. We both began screaming in excitement as soon as I hung up the phone. Wait until everyone at school hears about this one, she grinned as we danced around the room. We agreed on what time to meet at that day, September 9th, and began making our plans in happy anticipation of what we knew was going to be the most exciting experience of our lives. So that's the beginning of writing when you're writing a narrative. So that's the beginning. It's introducing the main characters and it's introducing the setting. The setting is going to be at the home. They're transitioning to a concert. The main characters are the two main characters who are talking about Brenda and her friend, and the one main character and her best friend Brenda, and then also Corbin Frank, who's like obviously a famous star they're talking about. So when you're writing a narrative at the beginning, you're going to start off with introducing the setting of the story, and then the characters. Then you're going to start slowly getting into the problem, which is, if you look at like a mountain, it starts up, we talk about story pop elements, you start at the top, the bottom of the mountain, and you start at the setting and character, and you start slowly rising up to the top of the mountain. You get to you start introducing the problem slowly along the side, right around here after you introduce the setting and characters, and then you get to the top, to the climax, and you start climbing down that mountain and then solving the problem. So the first two characteristics, the setting and then the characters, you introduce the characters, you just start getting into the problem, which is right at the top of the side of that mountain. So you are a princess, with the microphone as we walk down the aisle towards seats 34 and 35. Today the concert finally arrived. For 2 hours straight, we almost lost our voices screaming at the top of our lungs the lyrics of the song a very talented Corbin belted out. We stared in amazement at the choreography, the dazzling lights, and the red, purple, white, and orange graffiti that sparkled in our hairs and around the crowded auditorium as the show professionally progressed. I felt so honored to see my absolute favorite entertainer live. I could do nothing but try to remain calm as I simply stared in stupid fascination at my wildest dreams happening right before my eyes. Notice there's a lot of description, elaboration. It's very, very important. As you're getting into your problem, try to describe the setting, try to elaborate on what's going on. You know, what do you see? What sights do you hear? What sights do you see? What sounds do you hear? What's going on around you? Try to use a lot of elaboration as you're starting to get into your problem. Notice we haven't gotten to the problem yet. We're only on the side of that mountain. We're just starting to rise to the problem. So now we're just going to get right into the problem and get to the climax and then start solving the problem. After about an hour of blissful happiness, the intermission was finally announced. We'll pause here for a 15-minute break while our next singer prepares for her performance. I don't know who she is, but let's go grab a soda and come back and watch the remaining acts anyway, I whispered, still in the days after the amazing production. We happily headed toward the concession counter and waited with all the other Corbin fans flaunting "We Love You" t-shirts, snapping pictures, and waving flashlights that beamed out floating rainbows of spectacular glamour all over the auditorium. Nothing could make this night more exciting, I thought as I waited to tell the lady my order. As she took my change, I called out to Brenda, standing behind me, to hand me her money, while I unsuccessfully tried to dangle the large gulp can and nachos in my hand. When she didn't respond right away, I asked her again to hurry up before we missed the remaining acts. I waited for a few seconds, assuming she was fishing around in her pocket or something, yet still no reply. Finally, after almost dropping the entire refreshment holder, I turned around in frustration. "What is the holdup?" I was just about to ask her when I noticed her face was as pale as a sheet. The fear in my heart started making my chin quiver as I slowly looked past her to see what I knew was the only thing that would make her appear so shocked.